fuck. Oh, there we go. Oh shit.
Me and my robot buddy.
I'm over here Dragon Ball Z in it right now, so. Brant might know that reference. I don't know. You haven't gotten that far in the game, Richard, so you won't know that reference.
I know dragons are.
I
know dragons are prevalent in this.
I just built my robot buddy.
Robot buddy.
That's where I am in the story.
For those about to bot.
I don't remember doing a robot buddy unless it was like way back.
It is part of the. What is this quest called? Guidance from ages past. So if you go to your quest log and go to main quest, if you've already done that, then you're probably way past me.
I don't remember seeing that one.
That's a main quest there, so.
I'm looking at the main quest. I completed everything but that one. Right now I'm on Crisis at Hyrule Castle.
Okay, yeah. I'm past you.
Damn.
I think.
I'm not past either one of you. Oh, Renee's here already. Renee!
Yeah, I'm working on the last temple right now.
Equipping my robot friend. Hey, come back here. Trying to.
Brant, whenever you're ready.
Just running away. I mean, I'm ready.
Put it in sleep mode now.
I'll sleep when I'm ready.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody tells me to sleep mode.
Said I'll sleep when this game's done.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't get the go live notification. I just had to pull it up. It's weird.
Yeah, it's there.
You saw it?
It's just there.
Yeah.
Just for you, Richard. I'll put it in sleep.
Just for me.
I won't promise that it might not go into handheld mode and be in my lap at some point.
Hey, just tell me whether we delay this podcast or not. Do we go tomorrow night? If you are jamming. I have nothing to play in here.
The story's good, man.
I mean, I could.
The
Yes, I'm with you on the story. I've come around on the story. I've come around on the game.
Well, we'll get to the Zelda Power Hour after we get through news.
Probably going to be one for a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm almost done. I almost got all the hearts, so I've
got all the stamina.
Got all the stamina. I'm working on the last 10 shrines. It's like 100 something shrines. I'm at the like 110 or something like that.
Damn. I'm like 76.
And I completely filled up the map and the depths and the top world. Oh, left one.
Richard's on a benefits call. I put it to sleep too soon. I'm catching up. Double checking my news. Okay.
Well, that came out of the blue. Trying to hurry everybody along. What's tonight's agenda? What do we give Renee a sneak preview of the night's stuff?
Only if you feel like
Sony new controller.
it. Give Renee a little tease.
Let's tease Renee. Mortal Kombat. Game Pass. NSO Plus. Renee is not in the family, correct, Cesar? With our NSO Plus.
No, I didn't offer it to him because he doesn't play the Switch.
Correct. I figured that would be it. All right, you guys.
He's given up. He's given up on him. He said he'll wait for the next Xbox console, see if they can win him over.
See if they have something better than the Joy-Cons.
Oh, I'll talk about that.
Oh. Renee said he's ready for Mortal Kombat. Find out later in the show. We are live. Let's just start recording. Y'all ready?
Let's do it. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 258 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and Lord of the Rings literature, movie, video game based podcast. Of course, there may be some Lord of the Rings news coming up. The news consists of an update on Sony's Project Leonardo. What is that? We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Amazon is making a Lord of the Rings MMO. What? Find out details later. Mortal Kombat 1? Question mark. Is this the sister sequel to Battlefield 1 and the Xbox One, which just celebrated 10 years of a god-awful unveiling that convinced me I didn't need their platform? We have your new Game Pass titles, and we have your new coming soon to Nintendo Switch Online Plus titles. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, co-conspirator of Embarrassing Warzone. Also joining me, Newsmaster Brant McKee.
Also always here for Embarrassing Warzone.
Even though the same heckler that accused us of embarrassing Halo has not come back to critique our Warzone play. Our other fellow embarrassing Warzoner, Cesar Concepcion the second. Welcome, sir.
It's the only way I play.
Getting shot in the back.
Embarrassingly.
They took away our favorite mode. They took away our resurgence on the little map. They have, for 4 players, which we seem to always have 4 players ready to go. They only have the big map, so it takes longer, and I feel like every time we play, we're getting thirded or fourth, as the terms go. We never really have a clear path to victory. Was that a lunch round when we had a pretty good finish and we had a chance, like second or third place?
Yeah, we got third.
Yeah, we got moved down. We got thirded in the final go around there. Just poor positioning. Brent, I thought about
That was terrible.
I thought about leaving you at the base of that hill, but I thought we had enough cover in that bush, and they killed me in the bush, and that was it. Because by the time you were like, "Oh, Richard," I had to run back over there.
Yeah, I saw the glint. Yeah.
Sniper glint. Oh, we've had some unlucky Warzone rounds. That might be the synopsis of our Warzone playage. So that's right. You got into it Saturday night without me. Did we get a?
Yeah, but
did we get a win Friday? I feel like we played Friday night. Yes, we got. Oh,
did we win Friday night? I don't know. I've been playing a lot.
Yes, that's when you sent out the trophy that we won.
Oh yeah. The Dell protocol.
Oh, you'll like this, Brant. We're swimming around in the canal in the end, right? The gas. There's no more gas left, and I have a regular gas mask. And Cesar and was it Dale with us? Was Dale the third? Maybe Jeremy.
No, it was Jeremy left early. It was just
Russell. Russell was there.
Because we were doing 4 people, and that's when we were on the big map, and we had no luck.
And so that was our trios with the little map. Finally, we went back to our bread and butter. And my mask is about to pop. Like I'm almost out of my regular one, and they both have durables. So it's like, okay, here we go. There's nowhere we can't climb up anywhere. No one's down here with us. It's just the canal. And as mine is about to pop, the victory goes up. Victory. And immediately right after that, another congratulatory banner off to the right in the chat says, "Fucking campers."
They were very not happy. Yeah.
We were in a party, so it's not like we instant responded. But Cesar was like, "We had the durables. If you bought the durables instead of complaining, you could have been swimming the whole time and with the durables." And then he made up a trophy and sent it to me and Russell. Said instead of bitching about camping, you could have been swimming with us all day with the durables if you bought them.
Yeah, should have bought the durables. They went cheap and bought the regular gas mask. That's why they lost.
Or that's all they found. And even mine lasted. Oh, man, that was classic. I love the trophy. We fucking won, though. That's my... No, I think I've had one other win like that, but I know you guys talked about swimming around down there with nowhere else to go, and you ended up outlasting them. Yeah, that was like no shots fired. I think all 3 of us combined had less than 100 damage between us.
Just floating in
Michael
the water.
Phelps is the Michael Phelps survival method.
As the circle closes in, we just kept floating in the middle.
Just follow it down here. What can we do? That's it. Fucking campers. You see it over there with the stars on it. It's got the asterisk on it. F blank 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 NG campers. Like really, we won. I don't know. It says first place there. It's a legitimate strategy. We stayed where we were. You were camping on the top side. Who are we to know?
Mm-hmm. Should have camped better. Should have camped harder.
Should have camped longer, harder, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this news. This comes from Chris Scullion at VideoGamesChronicle.com. Sony's PS5 accessibility kit, Project Leonardo, we talked about a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, is now officially called the Access Controller. The new peripheral aims to make games easier to play for those with disabilities. Previously unveiled in January under the codename Project Leonardo, the new peripheral is intended to help players with disabilities to play games more easily and comfortably. According to the new info on the PlayStation blog, the Access Controller is a highly customizable controller kit with a, quote, wide array of swappable buttons and stick caps, end quote, which lets players, quote, freely create different layouts that work for their unique strengths, range of motion, and physical needs. The ad directly underneath that is for a bunch of vibrating adult devices. The controller can be used on a flat surface oriented 360 degrees or secured to an AMPS mount or tripod. Sony says each Access controller will include analog stick caps, button caps in different shapes and sizes, including pillow button caps, flat button caps, wide flat button caps, overhang button caps, curve button caps, and swappable button cap tags for players to easily mark which inputs they map to each button. So like labels, I'm guessing. The controller will include 4 3.5mm aux ports, which will let players add their own specialty switches, buttons, or analog sticks. It will have a full customization UI on the PS5 hardware too, enabling button mapping and control profiles. Up to one Access controller and one DualSense controller could be paired together to act like a single virtual controller, allowing players to mix devices for their comfort or play single-player games with other people operating certain functions. That I like. I believe well before we had what does Xbox call their controller? We talked about this years ago. Such a great device, and it worked for everything at the time, and I believe it still does. But I feel like before that, they kind of pioneered the co-oping of the controllers. So if something was too difficult, almost like driver's ed, right? Where the driver next to you teaching you how to drive had the full brakes and pedals and turn signals, and they had the whole equipment right there next to you. So if something got too dicey, whether it be kids or someone who gaming wouldn't normally be accessible to them, they had full access to that stuff, or you could carry them through the parts that were more strenuous or that you were able to participate in, right? And this sounds awesome. This is even more in that trend of the way those things are going. And the way PlayStation's kind of the leader with the accessibility options in games, you know? This just adds to that making games available for everyone awesomeness, which I'm a big fan of. I dropped off somehow. What do you guys think of this controller? Does not directly benefit any of us at the current time. Never know.
No, it's good. I mean, it's just out there for somebody who needs it. That's the most important
It's
part.
very cool. It's it almost looks like the proximity mines from Modern Warfare, right? I mean the counter operative of design of what you would want to describe it as, but it's circular with, like plating on the outside, like shells. But you could definitely see how those could be put together. I would like to try one of those controllers just to see how that movement and stuff feels. It was always fun to play with like a DDR pad on Final Fantasy, or try to do something with the Guitar Hero guitar, that kind of stuff. It was always neat. But the Access controller. Do we have a date for this? Sony has set up a new page, like Cesar said, where players can register for updates on pre-order information when it's available.
Yeah, has yet to be confirmed.
Hopefully,
Sony has set up a new page.
Hopefully, this isn't like PSVR 2, where it's online on PlayStation site only. Hopefully, this comes to Best Buy, Walmart, Target, GameStop. Hopefully, it's available for whoever wants to go in store and pick it up. Oh, next up, Brant, tell me about this Amazon Lord of the Rings MMO. Oh, consoles. You have me at consoles. I didn't know about this.
Yes.
More adult devices.
Amazon will be collaborating with Embracer for a brand new Lord of the Rings MMO game.
I hadn't seen this story.
You hadn't?
No, I hadn't. Despite being somewhat in the know on Lord of the Rings stuff. I only thought I was.
So this will, of course, be based on the literary works of The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings trilogy. This was announced about a week ago, I believe.
Must have got lost in the shuffle of Appreciation Week.
Of course, it's in early production. It's being led by Amazon Games Orange County. Behind the open world MMO New World.
Have we gotten anything from Amazon Orange County? Oh, New World. That's it. I'm sorry.
That's the only thing that they have to.
I signed up for the beta for that. It feels like years ago. I don't know that ever. It was always like early access, first look. I don't know that ever was a big thing. It seems like something they'd want to have on that Luna platform they have.
Yeah. Bringing players a fresh take on the Lord of the Rings has been a long aspiration for our team. We're honored and grateful that Middle-earth Enterprises is entrusting us with this iconic world.
Seems like everybody's getting entrusted with that iconic world right now, right? It's not too hard to get. It's like the Warhammer license at this point.
The article does note that Embracer Group acquired the Middle-earth Enterprises last year.
Giving it the worldwide... This is the important thing with Lord of the Rings stuff, because it's so crazy. The motion pictures, video games, board games, merchandising, theme parks, and stage productions relating to the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit. So not the same as the literary works or the TV show that they also have, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That stuff gets dicey. And I thought it would be figured out because even 20 years ago, we had that Fellowship game that Cesar and I tried playing so many years ago that was not the movie based. It was like based off the novel. And that was the only one they did. And then so EA's license picked up with the Two Towers movie retelling of sorts.
The world of Middle Earth continues to prove an endless fertile ground for creators, and Amazon Games has a passion for building immersive, compelling worlds and publishing games for a global audience, which means we've got the IP and we want to capitalize that.
That's all that is.
Capitalize on it.
That's all the fertilization. That's all the fertilization is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's no... Oh, he started the fan.
Oh, Cesar.
It all started. I didn't start it.
But yeah, I see...
Last year, Amazon confirmed it had canceled a separate Lord of the Rings MMO. Reportedly because of a dispute with Tencent.
Oh, yeah. I remember
the Chinese parent company of the free-to-play titles co-developer Athlon Games. What does a Lord of the Rings MMO look like on PC and console these days? What's our last MMO on console? That's not like Destiny or one of those looter shooters that has the same core loop. Final Fantasy 14? I mean that's a continuing success story.
Final Fantasy 14. I guess that would technically be one of the latest ones.
Genshin? Is Genshin considered an MMO? Or their sequel? What was the sequel that came out that looked so good in trailers and stuff? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I know it's a Hollow something. Cesar, is that in the Hollow People's?
Yeah, it's in their verse, the Honkai...
Rail.
Something.
What all's that out on?
Rail. PC and I think PlayStation soon.
Alright, look forward to what they have coming up later.
And we still haven't seen anything about the Gollum game that keeps getting delayed. So
I feel like somebody had like a first, like an IGN first or something, and they were showing off screenshots.
They did just do like another little presentation on it. I feel like not too long ago, but I don't know. We'll see.
We know how that story kind of ends. Is that worth dipping into that bit just to see what he does? Like. And it's not Andy Serkis doing all that, right? This is one of those weird licensing things where it's not quite the movies.
Yeah. Like I said before, I guess they were just excited by that fertile ground.
Fertile license. What other licenses is fertile as Lord of the Rings? Warhammer. It's back to the fertility of Warhammer. Next up, another fertile license. I guess it's a fertile franchise.
Being reboot.
Yeah, I was trying to think what other franchises did the one thing besides Battlefield. Did Call of Duty try doing They haven't quite done the Call of Duty 1. Has this worked out for anybody doing this whole?
I mean, aside from Xbox One.
Oh God. Which I kind of halfway mentioned, but it's now been 10 years since it's always online. If you don't want an online Xbox, we have a product for you. It's called the 360. That god-awful Don Matrick TV involved presentation they did. Which I believe the PlayStation one was in February of that year. Because I was all in. That was the Mark Cerny expose. They're showing off everything. I distinctly remember like leaving work trying to get to a computer to watch that in real time. And was able to, and I was like, okay, new Killzone looks good. I think this is the right direction. So it's not quite to the point where they dropped the E3 hammer of, was it $4.99 they came out at with the camera and all. But this was the
$2.99.
The $2.99. This is the everything tied to TV, telling your Xbox to switch between whatever you're gaming on to, whatever you're playing to the TV and then back. And
what they had that generation was the whole licensing thing with your games for Xbox, and it all sounded so weird and convoluted. They weren't pitching it very well.
No.
And it sounded like once you had your game, it was registered to you. You weren't able to share it, and that was PlayStation's thing. Was like they put out like a 5-second video, like here's how you share your PlayStation games.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just one person handing the game over to another
That
person.
marketing ate them up immediately.
Yeah.
Well, there was going to be a store, so you were going to be able to sell that license back at some point, and then I guess you just had a coaster, which, I mean, we leaned even more so into that direction at this point. Mm-hmm. I think. John Linneman was recently out there of Digital Foundry saying that the patches are not as widespread as we make them out to be, and it's only for key titles and things like that. But, I mean, if it gets a patch, to me, that makes the original thing obsolete, right? Like you're not purposely trying to go back and play that version. Unless it's some weird thing like Last Guardian on PS5. If you put that in and don't let it patch, you get the full 60 frames per second Last Guardian. But I'm like, why would you need that? I don't understand.
I don't know.
There's certain things. We all try to go physical. Like that's our thing on this podcast is preservation and making sure those games are around to be able to be played and things like that. But how many of those versions is actually what's on those discs or those cartridges? And we've kind of all settled on it's PS4, PS5 games and Switch games for the most part, right? Unless we know we're getting a live service type thing.
Well, even with some Switch games, they're getting bad now about having that little download required banner.
Yeah, so. I saw Zelda just got a patch. Did y'all see what was in that?
I did not download that patch, and I'll talk about that later. Okay. There is some kind of fix, but like I said, I'll talk about it later.
I think I saved and let mine restart, but I didn't look at the patch notes or see what it was or anything. I just, when you get it out of sleep mode and you fire it up and you start it, it's like start software or install update or close software. And I'm like, no, let's just keep playing where I was. And then I'll save when I'm comfortable. And then you can apply your update. Okay. So you're going to touch on that a little bit later, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All right.
Because there's a specific reason I did not update.
Oh, interesting. Maybe I'm going to regret having done so. I have to delete everything. Mortal Kombat 1 announced for September release with first trailer. This comes from Tom Ivan at VideoGamesChronicle.com. Following plenty of teasing and several leaks in recent weeks, the next entry in the long-running fighting game series was officially revealed on Thursday. The debut trailer for the game, which is viewable below, confirms that it will be released on September 19th, 2023. Did you guys watch the trailer?
Yeah, actually it looks pretty dang good.
For just a CG thing?
Well, I mean, the whole thing with this is it's a kind of redone Mortal Kombat universe based on the last Mortal Kombat. Everything's been created by the fire god Liu Kang, featuring reimagined versions of iconic characters as they've never been seen before.
I saw all the ninjas look totally different.
So they've changed up the concepts and a lot of the way the characters look and things like that. It looks really interesting. And
they looked a lot less. The ninjas looked a lot less like palette swaps than they have since 1993. They looked a little bit more individualized.
It's described here. The story mode is an immersive cinematic narrative featuring unexpected twists on classic rivalries, original backstories, and a wide range of casts of legendary fighters, including Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Kung Lao, Katina, Melina, Shang Tsung, Johnny Cage, and many others. And they've, of course, already talked about DLC stuff already.
Character packs.
So,
and we know at some point there will be a complete edition of this Mortal Kombat 1.
Well, that is already up for pre-orders May 19th. So as of a couple days ago, from this recording, you have 3 different versions to choose from. You have the standard edition, which runs you the $70. That's on all of the things. PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch.
Why is this on
that's
Switch?
Yeah,
Why is this one? The
PC.
last one barely ran. It was like a
I
mockery. It was
know.
like an N64 game on the single player mode. Why is this still coming to Switch? People
And
will
it is
buy it?
PC via Steam and Epic. But yes, I don't know. And I think it's the same studio is also working on it. The same studio that ported it to
Switch is doing
last
this one?
time. Yeah, is doing the same Switch port. Yeah.
Hey, numbers don't lie, man. They sold a shit ton of them. They're like, let's see if you can recreate the magic.
You have a premium edition at $109.99. Available for the same consoles. Will include the standard edition along with combat packs, early access to the
With a
game
K, of
beginning
course.
September 14th. 1,250 dragon crystals. That's an in-game currency. The combat pack will feature Johnny Cage character skin with the likeness of famed actor and martial artist Jean-Claude Van
Famed
Damme.
actor. Yes, I'm here for the
early-
Jean-Claude Van Damme skin.
Early access to 6 new playable characters available post-launch, and 5 new cameo fighters.
Oh, from Cameo, Elements of Power for 360.
Of course, why not? And the very last one is the Collector's Edition with a K.
Friend of the show, Jeremy, was incredulous that there was a $250 SKU for
Yes,
the new Mortal Kombat
250.
game.
I am looking to see. It looks like it's got most of the same stuff. It's also got a 16.5-inch Liu Kang sculpture designed by Course.
Who's Course? Are they a known statue
I
people, Cesar?
maybe.
No clue.
And an inspired Liu Kang in-game skin. 3 exclusive art prints, steel case, and 1,450 dragon crystals. That's the in-game currency.
They showed off the
That's
statue.
and that's on top of the other one that you would get from the other version.
The statue
So,
didn't look that great.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big statue guy with the video games. There was I've got a few. I have to say I did get the infamous one with Infamous 2 of Cole and Nathan Drake from
The
Uncharted
3 collectors.
Mhm.
What is the most...
But that's
that
it.
got me talking with Jeremy because we were together when the announcement came out, and I was like, "Oh, it's a new Mortal Kombat game coming." What is the most expensive collector's edition that you guys can remember purchasing? Has it gotten close to $250?
Never. I'm trying to remember. I there was a time where I bought a lot of them, but I never remember them being much over a little over $100.
I think a bunch of these Nintendo ones have been like $129. So I don't. Trying to think what I might. I got Russell the Halo 3 special edition that came with the cat helmet, but I think that was only $100. I don't think that was outrageous when it came out. Maybe $129. Maybe it was in that same realm. I don't know. $250 seems steep.
250's up
Wasn't
there.
the
In this economy? No.
It wasn't the SpongeBob game that you played, Brand. It was like the one after that. No, it may have been the Bikini Bottom. Didn't it come out with some crazy ridiculous
The rehydrated Battle for Bikini Bottom.
socks
I remember
and
it
stuff?
came with like socks,
Yeah.
yeah. And some other stuff. I don't know. I've always seen it Wario posts it on
Discounted.
sale every now and then
Yeah.
still. But I never even looked at that. I was like, I don't know what MSRP on that was.
I might have to poke around and see what my most expensive collector's edition thing like that is. Rock Band?
you know, if there was
I got the Rock
special-
Band 4, but that was like you're buying a bunch of instruments and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those were expensive. But I don't even feel like those I feel like those were close. Those might have been like 175.
I
I don't even think they crested 200.
So I think Cesar may have some insight on this. I think by the time we jumped on our Xbox Ones, Target had a thing that was like, buy an Xbox One, get a free game with it or something like that, and it worked for that SKU. or it was like half off or something. So we ended up getting that Rock Band SKU very inexpensively, and not for Xbox.
I got my Xbox One S was mispriced at a lower.
It may have been the one. It may have been the
Target.
One S. Get the One S and get
a
get
1S.
a free game with it. And for some reason, the Rock Band SKU worked, the $250 one. Yeah. Now that I've kicked that out there, I might have paid even less for mine. I'm curious though. If you're listening, Instagram, Twitter, email, whatever, let us know. What is the most expensive collector's edition you've shelled out for and why? We'd love to know. After buying Skyrim and playing it, after all these iterations, I wish I had gotten the super cool one that came out with 360 and PS3 with like Alduin, the big dark dragon. He's like up on top of the wall and stuff. I've seen it here and there. It's not super expensive on eBay. Some of that stuff seems to have not held value. And the Gears 3 statue, remember the one with like Marcus Phoenix kneeling with the dog tags, the cog tags in his cog tags instead of dog tags. He's holding the cog tags in his hand. That one's still not super expensive.
I'm not going to say anything.
Go ahead, Brant. It's right there.
The cog rings.
Oh, then there's that. Collect all the cog rings off your fallen comrades. Take them off their bodies. Oh, it's late, ladies and gentlemen. It's hitting Brant.
Jesus.
All right, coming soon to Game Pass. Speaking of cog rings, we have we have Massive Chalice, Railway Empire 2, Cassette Beasts. Is that related to King Beasts? Ghost Lore, Chicory, A Colorful Tale. I didn't know it was coming to Xbox. That's awesome. Chicory was a little indie darling. Ooh, I have no idea what that says. I've seen the that's Planet of Lana. Planet of Lana. Railway Empire 2. FIFA 23. I think that's one of the big gets. Oh, there it is. And Eastern Exorcist.
Yep.
So pretty good variety of Game Pass games.
Let's see what's down here.
Leaving Game
May.
Pass.
Yep, 31st. Europa Universals. Evil Genius 2. FIFA 21. Floppy Nights.
Cog Ring Edition.
Lawn Mowing Simulator. So if you need to play any of those, get it before the end of the month.
Is that like the first one? Lawn Mowing Simulator? Haven't they started putting years after that? Like 21 and 22 and stuff?
I feel like it. Oh, they have so many dang simulators. Farming simulator, trucking simulator, train simulator. Everything's a dang simulator.
Oh, did you see Power Wash Simulator's getting one of your favorite franchises crossover?
I saw. It's getting SpongeBob. It's the SpongeBob episode now.
It's the SpongeBob episode.
Power Wash or Bikini Bottom.
Or Cog Rings, which is where you try to take everything.
You keep bringing it up now.
Hey, it's a Gears of War reference. Cog tags. Last but not least, there are 3 Game Boy Advance games coming to your Nintendo Switch Online subscription.
So,
don't we already have these games in a certain version?
Yeah. See, that's the thing is we'll announce what exactly they are. So we're getting all 3 brand new Game Boy Advance games for NSO.
We already have the 4th.
The thing is, none of these were shown in the little reel. When they were, showing off what's coming soon to the NSO when they unveiled Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and all that.
Right.
So these are a little bit of a surprise. But there's a little bit of a question mark next to them. So the games in question are Super Mario Advanced, Super Mario World, Super Mario 2 Advanced, and Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advanced 3. Which technically are games we've got via the Super Nintendos. We've got the games that these are basically based
the native
on
titles.
And they have some little extra content here and there and some little twists, variations on things, because they were built for the Game Boy Advance, but they're essentially the same game.
They're worse in certain regards.
Yeah.
But like the one we already got, the Yoshi's Island, or not the Yoshi's Island one, the Super Mario Brothers 3 one. I can't remember which one that is.
Yeah.
That is Super Mario Advance 4. It came with the what was that peripheral? You could swipe the card. E-reader.
E-reader.
Yeah, it came with all the e-reader level support. So, is there any additional stuff with these? I guess you get to play the multiplayer, the Super Mario Brothers, the Mario Brothers multiplayer part, like the pipe and all that.
Yeah, the e-reader levels were included with that other title, so which cool. I mean, you get those extra levels. But yeah, I saw these, I'm like, "Oh, great, we're getting, more Game Boy Advance titles." And then I saw what they were. I'm like, that's a little odd. Out of all the things.
I don't think anybody will complain about these outside of people in the know like us.
I mean, not really complaining. I'm just saying it's really an odd choice.
Yeah, because these aren't really the ones you would go for, technically speaking. And we got Mario All-Stars, or was that a time period thing that they got rid of, like the 3D All-Stars? Did they pull that, or did they leave that on the service?
I think it's still on there.
Because that would have your version of Super Mario 2. I'm trying to think what this gives you that the other ones did not. It's a inferior version of Yoshi's Island, where you're like...
Yeah.
So the Game Boy Advance was technologically a Super Nintendo, but you had zoomed in aspect ratio. You had some compromises. The audio is not as good as that Sony sound chip. It's just not quite the same thing. And you already have the native one on Super Nintendo app, right? I can't really recommend playing any of these over the versions that are already out there, whether on All Stars or the native versions of the Super Nintendo games, like you were saying. It's cool. Maybe if you don't want to leave, like when you go into that, it's not Virtual Console. When you go into the Nintendo Switch Online tabs, you have to pick from each console. So yeah. I guess it keeps you from. You just live in the Game Boy Advance one? You don't have to go out to the Super Nintendo one? I can't really think.
I guess. Yeah.
I can't really think why that would be additional advanced features, they say. So these are coming next week, May 26th. So they'll be coming out before or after this podcast post. The advanced version of Super Mario Advance gives you Super Mario Bros. 2 also features added surprises to discover and challenges to take on, including one featuring Yoshi. All right, in Super Mario Advance 2, you get the option to play the entire adventure as Luigi with his Super Mario Advance abilities. Those charging chucks won't know what hit them when they encounter this high-jumping bro. And with Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance 3, we get... I can't tell what you get. It looks like it's the same thing. So at least you get to play as Yoshi, or you get to play as... Luigi in that Super Mario Advance 2 Super Mario World one. That's a little bit of a change. I don't know. They're available. Can't complain. They're adding stuff to the service, right?
Yeah, as long as they aren't taken away. Yeah.
And the interesting note, like you said, is that they weren't shown in that sizzle reel. It's all new stuff. It's not anything that we'd seen before. We're waiting on the Minish caps and all that kind of stuff. Random stuff.
No, I think Minish Cap is
not Minish Cap. The Oracle games and Zero Mission was shown off, I believe.
Yeah, Zero Mission. Oh gosh, what was it? Golden Sun and Fire Emblem and
Golden Sun. That's what I'm really thinking of. Exactly.
Yeah. There was a bunch of stuff that was shown off in those reels that was like, ooh, I can't wait till those come. But so,
all right. I guess on the games played, Cesar left us momentarily, but he said he'd be right back. So I guess we'll start up our Zelda chat, and then he can come in and bring us home, right?
Yeah, we already talked about embarrassing.
We did, and that's all there was to cover on embarrassing Warzone. I was further back in my adventures last week, and I believe I still am for sure. I finally got off the Great Plateau, like the opening area, which was Sky Island tier.
Yeah, the big Sky
big
Island.
Main area. The last shrine makes you do the temperature thing, so it makes you cook a dish or something like that to get up where you need to get to. Another example of the game making you play a certain way when sometimes it lets you enjoy freedom. But I believe with that being the tutorial area, that was kind of it, you know. After that, you dive down to Hyrule, so you start getting some of the story of like what happened down there when you dive down. And I was instantly getting killed, no matter where I went on Hyrule. It was an instant death, and
welcome to the game.
That must have been where you were last week, where you're like even just one hit is a 1-hit kill, because every moblin camp I tried to take out, or like little enemy tower or something like that, it was instant death. And I was like, I think I texted y'all, said the combat's not even fun. I'm not even enjoying the combat. But it wants you to do a certain thing. It wants you to play a certain way, and it's very clear I'm not meant to take on those things yet, or I've got to be so smart and so efficient with the things I'm trying to put together. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to get pissed off at this game because I can't beat this Bokoblin tower, right? There's 5 of them, and I can't take them down. I'll figure out something else to play. And there's tons of shrines in the area. So I just start going through shrines and figuring out the puzzles. And there was a real cool one with hot air balloons where I was trying to like figure out how to take this platform up a hot air balloon. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And there was like multiple steps to that. So it was getting into the next room and then having the hot air balloon in the next panel and try to do something with that. Like I had to put a ball in there, like a metal ball that had to go in a receptacle in the top, and that was a real cool puzzle to go through, a really cool element. And I wandered around for a while. I did some shrines, I had some enemy encounters, I scanned amiibo. I don't know where I would have been on the Sky Island thing if I hadn't scanned all that meat and all that amiibo and been able to make a dish to like have spicy stuff. That I was telling friend of the show Russell this, like, dude, scan some amiibo on that first island. You're gonna want to. It's gonna help and cook some stuff. Because that
first island, you find apples and things, and that's it. They give you find some apples, and you might find a fish or something, and then right before you get into that cold area, they start throwing those spicy peppers. So but it doesn't tell you, hey, combine like an apple or a vegetable with the spicy peppers
or a fish.
You just kind of have to know.
Like I was doing like 2 fish and 2 peppers, and that was like 6.5 minutes of cold protection. Mm-hmm. So that gave you like, I want to explore this game. It's like, you know, it's like Skyrim or one of those. I want to go around. I want to see what's there. I want to go behind the rock.
You got to haul ass.
Yeah, you have to fucking be moving, and then you have a stamina meter on top of that when you're hauling ass. I'm trying to think the point. It was literally the point where I had first dove down to Hyrule, and I was trying to take out the Bokoblins and stuff, and I was just dying nonstop. I was like, fuck this game. I died like 5 times in 10 minutes. This isn't fun. It doesn't want me to go anywhere. I'm just stuck. So I just sat out in the other direction. I changed my map to where I could figure out, you got to go to Lookout Landing. I think Brent had just gotten there, or maybe you guys were both kind of there last week. But that really got the story going. And Cesar had mentioned last week, like, the story is way more involved than Breath of the Wild. And I loved that game, and I feel like that story propelled enough of that going forward. But it really wasn't. It was like, here, these 4 things are out of whack. Go find these 10 memories that the princess has and go to the 4 things and then take out Ganon. Or just go to Ganon now, right? Like, that was like the gist of it. But there's a mystery to this one. You're trying to figure out what the chasms are. You're trying to figure out where the gloom is coming from. Cesar, were you talking about the gloom and it was like the arms and stuff that were coming after you? Because I met them in one place and I was like, I'm never getting out of here. What am I supposed to do? They're waiting for me.
Fuck you up.
That's the at least Ganon after you beat the arms. It's like it's the second phase.
That's what Cesar was talking about last week, and I was like, because I got to a shrine, and then when I got out of the shrine, that mob of shit was like underneath me, and I'm hitting them with the arrows in the eye. Right, there's all these arrows, there's all these eyes that pop up. They just kept coming. I was like, I can't beat these things. So I had to end up like outsmarting them and trying to paraglide. I had the paraglider by that point, so I'm like trying to go around them, that kind of stuff. But I got the paraglider from Pura at the Lookout Landing. And they applied the Rule 34 to Pura from the last game. And
she's aged up.
I immediately went onto Reddit to confirm that others felt the same way.
Everybody thinks she's sexy.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? What just happened to this character? So she sent me a little thing towards the castle where they're trying to investigate the chasm, and the upheaval is what they call it, like the castle rising up and all these things coming out, and that's kind of where I'm at now. I got a glimpse of Zelda, like off in the distance, and they couldn't believe I'd seen the princess, and they've been researching the upheaval while I was MIA. They couldn't believe that it came from the sky part. The story's just way more developed than Breath of the Wild was. I do feel already that way, that it's trending in that direction. I got Epona from one of the amiibo. Do you have to dock the horse? Like, I forgot what you do with the horse.
Yeah,
she was just walking
you have
around.
to take it to a stable.
I couldn't find a stable near that Hyrule Castle area. The map didn't have it like filled in because I've only done that one tower. Well, I'm headed to the second tower.
Yeah, you got to discover everything.
Yeah.
So.
I was like, damn it. But it came from an amiibo, so I'm assuming it's going to come from the amiibo again.
Yeah, here's the thing. When you go to the stable, all your previous horses will be there.
See, I found a stable before. I remember you guys mentioning that, and they didn't acknowledge any sort of like, hey, here's your things. I don't know if
it tells from a previous save. You have to have your previous save on there.
I probably haven't downloaded it from the cloud then. It's probably 4 or 5 years since I played Breath of the Wild. That might be it. I know it's not the same console.
And you will have to have another horse because you get like a tow hitch for a horse.
Okay.
And you can do some, crazy stuff and make a wagon and, have the horse pulling the wagon. Epona will not pull a wagon. When you pull up the horse's stats, it says, like strength, speed, and all this.
Yeah.
It says like tow, I think either tow or power or something like that. And there's just a dash in that spot for Epona.
Nothing.
So you have to have a different horse.
Useless.
Yeah, so if you have Epona from the first game, Epona from the first game can tow.
Oh.
You can also, when you find the horse fairy, you can also upgrade the Epona from the first game as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if I download my save and go back into... I wonder if I download my save.
It's a fairy with a horse face. That's how it is.
Oh, it's a weird ass thing, is what it is.
That's interesting. I haven't found that nightmare fuel yet.
It's there.
It's fun. It's gotten fun again. I was not enjoying my time with the game. You have to love building that stuff. If you don't like putting all that shit together, this is not the game for you. It literally involves building all kinds of shit, rotating it, twisting it.
Well, see, I mean, it's not that bad because I think some of that just helps with exploration. The only one that you required to build something was for the Spirit Temple. When I beat that one, that was it. That was the only requirement where you had to go around and build different, like the left arm, the right arm, and the left leg, left right, right leg. And
you
all
for
that,
sure
so.
do
That's what I'm talking
the shrines and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know what you're talking about. You said robot friend. I'm like,
yeah, my robot friend. You had to build the robot friend. Go get the arms and the legs and whatnot.
The first time I found like car pieces, and it had one of the Zonai. I don't know what they call them, but it's like the fan thing. You've used it in one of the shrines before. You find this part. So I'm like, I'll just stick the wheels on the side of this thing and put the fan on there. But the wheels were like, there was no axles. The wheels were just stuck there. Yeah. I think I took a clip of it because I had Link hit the fan like, here we go. And it just sat there with the fan blowing. It's like, yeah, I didn't do that right. A lot of trial and error.
I saw Cesar post something about there's this temple and he had this big old ball and he got down to the very bottom and the ball just fell down.
Just glanced over the fucking thing. I was like, great. I didn't hit it right or something like that. It went over. It's bullshit, but whatever. I ended up beating it the next try.
Yeah, it's always try again, right? Renee went on a Taco Bell date. Congratulating him on his Taco Bell date. It's not as cheap as it used to be. Taco Bell got expensive. Have you guys been to the new Del Taco? I know Cesar's a big Del Taco fan.
I don't know, man. They have too much avocado in their food sometimes. So
I went. So if you sign up for their app, you get 2 free tacos. But it's like the good ones. It's not the plain tacos. So I had 3 regular tacos, a drink, fries. You get fries with the tacos, and then 2 of the beast tacos for $5. It was a good ass meal. The fries are surprisingly good. But I think that's my touch on Zelda. I was way turned off of it, and then it became, I'll just go chase this shrine, or I'll just go here, and then I'll try and see where this story bit takes me. And let me actually check the map and see where it's going to try to send me. So the pieces are clicking together. I'm enjoying it a lot more. Yeah. And
you're basically like where I was last week, because that was when you first start the game. You just get run into the ground. Just about every enemy.
This is not fun. I'm not enjoying this. This is not fun.
And the thing is even because I started doing shrines, I was like, screw it, I'm doing shrines, upgrading my hearts and things like that. And even with like 7 hearts, there were some enemies that just run up to you, bop, solo you, gone. Done.
I had bokoblins do that. I have this masterclass plan of like drawing them out. I'm hitting them in the nose with arrows. I'm backing up. Like one jumps over the other, swinging a sword, and there I go. And I'm like, sure, that's fine. Yeah, game over. That's fine.
Yeah, once you start upgrading armor, it helps.
Yeah.
So you got time it's gonna really help.
You got to find
one of the shrines
decent armor.
One of the shrines I did gave me like special rubber armor, and it's like super electricity proof. And I was like, wow, I'm not sure I was supposed to find that this soon. That's pretty cool.
That's the thing is you can find whatever you want.
Yeah. It's out there. I got the only gear I have before I hand it off to you. I've got the Wind Waker tunic. That's the like best thing I've gotten out of the.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty cool.
What I can confirm, like Cesar was saying last week, he mentioned it that a lot of the amiibo stuff is just in the game, and it is true. If there are all the sets of all the amiibo stuff, you do not have to have the specific amiibo. You can either just look it up, or you can go around and there's certain people that will say, oh, you looking for, this treasure, and they'll give you a hint kind of whereabouts you can find it, and they'll just put a X on your map.
But what I end up doing on that is if you do the amiibo ones, I've just been selling the extras because it gives you like 600 rupees for the extras. So it's worth grabbing the extras.
Yeah.
And you guys are right, the currencies that are premium. I've been playing for 5 or 6 hours, and I went to buy some stuff, and I had like 120 rupees. It's like, sure. I don't know. I have so little amount of stuff.
Let me go ahead and get into that update then. So last week, I guess it was early last week, there was a glitch that was found in the game, and anything you can attach to an arrow, you could duplicate through a very quick process.
Interesting.
And so once I got the hang of doing it, I duplicated a bunch of diamond, and just because you can sell it for 500 rupees a pop, it is probably the most most significant. And that is the only reason I haven't upgraded or updated
the patch notes specifically mention it kills that kills that glitch.
Yeah, because I showed it to my son. He tried to do it, and then he came back to me the next day, and I had noticed when I went to play the game that it was like, hey, there's an update. I'm like, nope, because just in case. Yeah. And he's like, no, Matt, I've tried it several times. I think I got everything right, and it just won't do it. I said, did you update it? Yeah.
It's gone.
No.
This is like the Destiny cave, like shooting into that Destiny cave for stuff.
There was something about some quest in the game that would technically kind of like soft lock, or it would glitch and players weren't able to progress, and that was patched out. But there were several other little bug fixes and things, and
like the duplication thing.
And the duplication glitch was patched out, so that's why I have not. Because when it comes to upgrading your armor, I've already found all of the fairy fountains and stuff, and just like in the last game, you have to have certain items and a lot of rupees to upgrade stuff once you get it up there. So I need to make money quick. I need to duplicate harder to get items. So that's why I haven't updated that.
Nice. Game's good.
Yeah.
I don't hate it anymore.
I did what Cesar was talking about last week, where he said there's these glyphs everywhere on the ground. You might see them flying around.
I found my first one. Impa was like right next to one.
Yeah, I was about to say you'll find Impa, and that's what starts the quest.
I wandered all around it. She was like, "Go near the center of it. Might be something going on there," and nothing ever happened. So I don't know if I don't have something or what.
No, you didn't look in the right place. You're looking for one of the teardrops will be like filled in, and in the base of the teardrop there's a puddle. Is what you're looking for. Also, if you're going to do that, I will send you a map that not only just shows you where they are, it gives you a number, a sequence.
Oh, beautiful. Because I could just warp back to where she is, because now I can time travel, or I can fast travel again.
Yeah, fast travel. And the thing is they're kind of like the memories from Breath of the Wild. I mentioned
this last week.
The only thing is, those, it didn't really matter which sequence you viewed them in. This one, if there's 12 of them, and if you go from like the first one and then the next one you find is like number 10, you're gonna be like, what the fuck just happened? What is that? What? Because that's basically what my son did. I told him, I was like, hey, go over here, you can start that quest, because I watched all of them. And he did the first one, and then he was walking around and he found number 8, and number 8 is very significant in the storyline. And I walked in and he goes, oh my gosh, I don't know if I was supposed to see this one yet. And I walked over there, I go, oh no, nope, yeah. No, you were not. I said, yeah, there's a number.
Damn,
there's a
I wouldn't
sequence.
think you could find something like that accidentally.
Well, that's the thing, is you can go wherever and find them. So
I got my first 4 or 5 tiers without going to Impa.
Oh wow!
You can do it any way you want.
So I did all the tiers, and then what was funny is I've gone around, I've done a bunch of the shrines. I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and progress the story. There's a part where there's another Zelda sighting after you've investigated the happenings around the Kingdom of Hyrule.
Yeah, they've got like an investigation squad or something. It's like the Goof Troop.
Yeah. So somebody sees you look up and you see Zelda like at the castle. So now you're tasked with trying to get up to Hyrule Castle, go in there. You go all through that. That's a whole big ordeal. And then you come down and they're like, well, wait a minute. In all these flashbacks, they talk about all the sages and all this, and we've only got some of the sages here. We know who are these sages. We're missing one, so we need to do some investigation. Go out into the world and try and investigate. Look at some ruins, and go over here and check this out. And
more searching.
So you've got to do all that. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm in the temple that Cesar was just talking about, where you've got to go and you've got to make a robot. You start the body and the head's already there, and you've got to go branch out and grab the arms and the legs and everything and build it up. And so
I love the ascend ability. It almost feels like a cheat code. It's fun. I forget it's there, and I'm like, let me get the fuck out of here, and I'll look up and I can get through the roof.
It started out as a kind of like a debug feature, and then they wound up just putting it in the game. A tool that
was just fun to tinker around with, and they ended up adding it.
My favorite thing to do is to just freaking cheese it. Anytime you're in a temple, in a shrine, or whatever, and you're running around and you're trying to figure something out, and you just go
up,
and you just use an ability. You use an ability a different way. You just climb something and glide over, or there's a lot of times where you're supposed to get a certain item like across a certain amount of to the other side, and I'll just use Ultra Hand, pick it up, push it as far out as I can, and then hold it there for a couple seconds, bring it back to me, set it down, and then use the rewind feature, hop on it, and ride it over there,
glide,
jump off, grab it with Ultra Hand again, and bring it. I
forget rewind, yeah.
So
because they make you use it when you first get it, and I don't think I've used it since then. I need to remember to rethink some things there.
Oh, rewind works for all sorts of stuff. Like, I mean, you just pick something up and angle it for hold it there for a couple seconds, drop it, and then rewind. Boom, instant ramp. There. And now you can right up it. Yeah.
You'll use it more in the progressing the story if there's some shrines that require some of them to be completed by rewind. So,
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's. Think I've got all my stamina bars. I've got a lot of hearts. I haven't gotten to the second. I keep waiting. Like every heart I do, I'm like, is this going to be on the second row yet?
It just keeps adding up on the top.
Quite. So
I think I have 5. I got that 4th heart, and then I've earned enough for a 5th one, but no stamina bars or anything. I think I've done 7 or 8 shrines. Might be time to find the goddess again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get to a point where a lot of the main towns that you visit, they have like a little small little goddess statue, and you don't have to keep going all the way back up.
That was a good quality of life improvement.
Gosh, there was something else. But the story is really good. Richard.
I'm totally digging the Zonai stuff, and they did drop the Raru hint. They haven't really elaborated on it, but they kind of hinted at it, and I was like, I knew that name from Zelda lore. So, wonder how far back that lore goes, that history goes. I'm sure I'll find out. It's fun to have, like, when Zelda games introduce a new race or a new people of Hyrule, or the Minish, or the when we got the flying, was it in Wind Waker when they turned into was it Rito at that point when they transformed from the fish people into Koroks, and we have a convergence of races at that point, and Breath of the Wild had like a bunch of my favorites in it. The Gorons, of course. I haven't met any Gorons yet. They're in this one, I'm assuming. Yeah. Yep, very cool. I'm headed to the Northwest Towers where I'm close to it. So I think I'm gonna do. It was either last week or the week before. Cesar was talking about kind of unlocking the map and unlocking the towers, and I think that's gonna be my strategy for a minute.
Yeah.
I might poke around and see what's there.
I've unlocked.
I definitely enjoy climbing up those towers and unlocking them.
I've unlocked all the towers, but that was after actually I did all of the disturbances.
I'm very happy now that I have the paraglider. That is like a difference maker in those games. You got to be able to get down from shit.
All right, Cesar, how close to you are to the end of the game?
I'm getting ready to fight Ganondorf.
Damn.
I did all 5 temples. Yeah, I'm right at the end. I'm in Hyrule Castle right now. Anything else I can add in there? I've pretty much done everything in that game. I can't think of anything I haven't done because I've walked around and I've done every side quest I've come across. Did the weird prison islands, found all the shrines. The recommendation for you, Richard, is if when you go into the depths and you find the light bulbs or the light vines or whatever.
Yeah.
The shrines are right above them. So what I ended up doing is I noticed it on there. It was what I ended up doing is I just flipped to the top world and looked at the bottom world and just mark them, and then I was like the shrines are right there.
Interesting.
I haven't been down to the bottom part. I know you were talking about that last week. I haven't been down there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The depths. You'll get there eventually. Yeah. There's a story beat where they encourage you to go down there.
You eventually though are able to get talking with Robbie again. He gets you a shrine seeking
cool
sensor, so you'll have that ability again in this game where you're just flying around or walking around. You hear the bloop 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 bloop. Yep.
So that helps because there's a lot of shrines that are underground. So, but using that the light route and to pinpoint it, and then just using that little shrine detector to find it, because there's some shrines you have to go through caves to get in there. Like you'll be on there and you'll see you have to go on there. There's some caves that are pretty well hidden.
That's cooler, not straightforward as just finding some. They were hidden in the first game too, so.
Yeah, I mean I'm trying to. I don't know. You'll see as you go through, man. There's not really much I can really talk about the game. So, the only recommendation I can give you is you'll find some monuments in the sky that have Hyrulean text in there that you can't read. Just take photos of it with
Makes
your camera.
sense.
So, I fucking found all of them, and then I encountered the quest like, oh, you need to take photos of these and bring it back to me.
Oh,
like,
no.
go around and get them again.
I
So,
found a couple of them,
yeah.
and I talked to the gentleman that was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be in this place. Come find me." I haven't gone, haven't talked to him, but yeah, thanks for telling me. I just got to take pictures of him.
Yeah, just take pictures of him because he's gonna ask you, and he's like, "Show me on your pure
You know what'll aggravate me? So any of these non-spoilery hints that'll save me time and aggravation, I'm definitely down for. And listeners, I'm sure the listeners appreciate it too.
That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I was like, fuck, and I had to go back because I knew where all 12 of them were. I just had to go all the way back from the fucking sky and fly all over the damn place again because some of them were pain in the asses to get to. So yeah, if you see those, take pictures of those. You'll see one that says it has Hyrulean. You'll know because they'll say Hyrulean text. I can't read this. Just take a picture. Yeah. He'll decipher it. It goes more into the backstory of the past. There's a lot of story just floating around there. So, because even then there's some stuff from Breath of the Wild in there. Like there's the one in Groot of Valley or whatever this fucking is, where you got to go to the capital, and then there's the one about the 8th warrior, and you got to find the 7th warrior, and you have to find these 7 different orbs and connect them to open up the statue of the 8th warrior that's located on the Gerudo Mountains. So. There's a lot of stuff out there. And there's the giant goddess statue over there, where she tells you the locations for all this. So she's like, "Can you find the smaller goddess statue? I've lost track of it." And like, you just have to go and there's stuff that you just randomly
another search quest.
So, yeah, there's stuff to be aware of that that's the only one I can think of that really irritated me was because I had to go back and take photos of all that.
I don't think my Purapad does too much yet. I think I've still got to unlock some things.
You'll get it once you progress with the story.
If you've already gone to Lookout Landing, go back and you can go talk with Robbie.
He's downstairs. He sent me straight to her the first time I talked to him.
Yeah,
Robbie and Joshua, I think.
Yeah, Joshua, the
Shikas,
and they'll ask you about a specific thing, and they'll send you on a quest to go investigate the depths.
Oh, cool!
So that'll be your first trek down there.
You'll get the rest of your abilities when you follow their storyline too. So I think you have to just go back after you beat one of the disturbances, because then you get another ability. So,
what are the disturbances? That must be what I'm headed to now.
It's the stuff kind of like from the areas from the first game. It's like those like Sedan
those 4
and all the Rito Village.
That's right.
4 areas that they ask you to investigate.
I mean, those are like those same areas from the first game. It's just it's just retreading of those temples in a different light. So
it's very much expansion package, right? Like, I know
it started off as DLC and then became its own.
Would y'all want? I mean, y'all been tearing it up. Would y'all want another game in this like art style and universe and map and all that, or is it time to move on to even just a new map or new region or new adventure, new mechanics, or is this like Zelda going forward?
I will say that, I mean, the open world thing seems to be where they've laid their claim to as far as Zelda. They, during a lot of the press push, there was a lot about these Sky Islands, a lot of talk about them and everything. But really, when you kind of look at everything, once you've got everything unlocked, it's like somebody sneezed on the map. If you look at the sky map, and there's some little bit over here, a little bit over here, a little bit over here. It's very sparse. It's not like the whole island. It's not the sky.
It's not a dark world.
Giant land masses. And then if you go underneath into the depths, about the same thing. I mean, you can find some cool stuff down there, but for the most part, it's pretty vast and open and kind of empty. There's the main points of interest down there, and some pretty cool stuff can be found, but I don't know. I think maybe after this, they kind of
switch it up,
get away from the
switch it up,
the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom arc, and kind of move to a new storyline, depending on how this one pans out. But hey, I mean, Breath of the Wild panned out pretty definitively. Everything was all good and good and dandy, and then all hell broke loose in the beginning of this one. So.
I mean, and also they sold 10 million copies in 3 days, so
Yeah.
the formula works. Keep trying to wring success from that stone, right? Cesar.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would like to see the open world concept meet the traditional aspects, like what they did in Skyward Sword. Because Skyward Sword, you still had, decent, pretty elaborate temples
Great
and
dungeons.
things like that.
Like, I didn't even finish it, and I know some of those. Some of those are the best dungeons in the series. Same with Twilight Princess.
Yeah. So I would kind of like to see the crossover between that, and I won't say much. I won't really get into it. I mean, they did bring temples back in this one, but we'll talk about that once you do a couple temples, and we'll be able to talk about that.
And there's going to be a story beat where we can talk about the actual timeline here, because there's an event in this that only happens in one timeline, and it happens.
Are we trying to keep up with the Zelda timeline nonsense? Are we trying to fit it into something?
I mean, there's one. I mean, there's
they
one,
all converge into this. So
there's one event that happens as it confirms that this in this timeline.
Oh, okay.
So Brant knows. So,
gotcha.
I mean, Richard, you technically know. Just this event happened in another game.
Okay.
So, like I said, you'll be like, "Oh shit!"
I just have to put it together. Yeah.
Okay.
I have to see what happens.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because there's an event that happens in this game that is the basis of the timeline. So that precedes all the other Zelda games below it. So
they've already talked about like the war of like the sealing Ganondorf away. So that's already been kind of part of the story they've teased at.
Yeah, you might know what I'm talking about then if that's the case, because I mean, if like Brant should know, the whole memory thing goes in part of that particular bit from that timeline. So that's unique to that timeline.
They're good at adding stuff out there like that where people put the pieces together, right? Like maybe the Hyrule Historia was one of the worst things they could have done, because it tried to define hero wins, hero fails and dies, and just like these different branching things. But it's fun just to talk about where it would align or what instance came before what, because they're all different Links, they're all different Zeldas, except for these two are the same.
Yeah.
And like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 were the same, and Link to the Past and Link's Awakening were the same too, and that sort of thing. Cesar, did you play anything else? Anything not embarrassing?
No.
Cesar, can you tell us any gameplay that you performed that was not embarrassing?
I don't
All of our
understand the
gameplay is embarrassing.
There we go.
It's all embarrassing. Embarrassing Zelda. All right. We have a state of play in 2 days? Wednesday?
Yep. I'm sure that will take up the bulk of
what time is that?
next
Is
week's
there any
show.
way we could try to shoehorn a talk over the stream on top of that?
I don't know, unless it's Thursday or something. Well, no, I don't know. Maybe.
All right. Yeah, be on the lookout for our Twitter and Instagram feeds. We'll try to put something out there if we're going to be able to talk over them. I want to say it's at 5 o'clock one day, but I'll have to see what that looks like too. But State of Play is coming up. I believe it's Wednesday. Pretty sure it's Wednesday. Should be some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll probably be, as Brant said, the majority of next week's episode. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.